Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have another pen here. I have already reviewed the Scribo 2 in the Noble Green finish. This is again another Scribo, Scribo 2, and this is in the Cardinal Red finish. And if you haven't watched my previous video, please go and watch it now. This is a pen that's come from a retailer called Write Here in Shrewsbury in the UK. They have a bricks and mortar store. They have an online store. They used to be Omas distributors before Omas closed up shop. They have worked with the employees that stayed together with Omas to create this stunning new pen. So you have the booklet here, and then you have the pen. So let me just put the pen aside for the moment, and I'll just show you the booklet. The booklet goes into the history of Scribo. So Scribo is a modern pen company grounded in the great tradition of pen making in Bologna. When Omas went into administration in 2015, those who lost their jobs stayed in touch with each other and are again creating writing instruments designed to make writing pleasurable. Now, Omas pens have always written very well, and these pens here, these Scribos, don't disappoint either. So Write Here Limited is an independent pen shop in Shrewsbury, Shropshire. As distributors for Omas pens until they closed in 2015, we developed strong links with and great affection for Bologna. This collaboration between Scrittura, Bolognese and Write Here celebrates our friendship and our mutual commitment to fine writing. And then it goes on and talks about the design. So the design, the Scribo Write Here pen is a substantial pen of striking design and is limited to 50 numbered pieces. Flaminia Angeloni's design was informed by Write Here's logo and corporate colours and is embellished with their fountain pen nib logo. It weighs 34 grams capped, 19 grams uncapped. Using the classic piston filling mechanism, it features a choice of exquisite 18-karat gold or 14-karat flexible nibs on an ebonite feed. And it then just talks about instructions of use and whatnot. So let me show you the pen here. The box is a pretty plain sort of box, but it's a lot of people don't like big boxes, so it's just a sort of clamshell style box really. And then you have the pen here, and the pen really is a gorgeous specimen. I like both the Noble Green and this Cardinal Red. The Cardinal Red really does look nice. It doesn't have as much chatoyance as the Noble Green, at least in the two models that I have here, but you can see here as I turn the pen you will see the chatoyance going on there. So it's almost like a dark red or probably even like crimson colour, and then it goes into this lovely almost like fiery red in areas when the light catches that chatoyance. So you can see there just how it really does catch the light. So the pen itself has the Write Here logo, and then you can see that in comparison with, let's see if I can focus this a bit better, there you go. You see that with the logo here and the logo on the nib. And then the pen itself is quite wide at the top of the cap, and then it tapers down. You have a functional clip here. It is quite a tough clip, but it is a functional clip. The cap tapers down to the center band here. And if I just zoom in there, hopefully you'll see it here. Write Here, and then Scribo Italy. So this is quite a substantial pen. It tapers down again towards the filling knob, and then there's another ring here, and then this is always very difficult to see, but let's see if I can try and focus in on this. There you go. And that's the LE number there. So let's have a look at the nib and the section. So the nib itself, as I mentioned, is the 14 carat nib, and this is the extra flex nib. You have the section tapers down here towards the nib. The threads are quite high on the pen, and then you do have a bit of a step down. But this step down isn't sharp, it's very rounded, and to be honest, I don't feel it, because when I'm holding my pen here, I'm not even on the threads either. So for me, this is actually quite a comfortable writing pen. And as I said before, the pen has a piston filling mechanism on it, and you do need that because the piston does hold a fair amount of ink, but these pens will literally drink ink like there's no tomorrow. They are very, very wet pens, so that's something you do have to bear in mind. And this is only a medium nib. So I think let's do some size checks and comparisons. So the length of the pen is about 142, 143 millimeters in length. The cap is about 62 millimeters, 63 millimeters in length. And then from the tip of the tines to the end of the pen, we're looking around about 132 millimeters. So it's an oversized pen for sure, or coming into oversized territory. And then in terms of weight, the pen is just over 34 grams inked, just under 15 grams for the cap, and then the body is just over 19 grams. So it's actually not a bad weight, and it's a resin material. It's not celluloid, so resin tends to be quite light. There are really no metal parts inside the pen that I understand. So I think let's now do a comparison against some other size pen. So from left to right, we have the Pelikan M600 Turquoise White, Pelikan M800 Ocean Swirl, or 805 Ocean Swirl, Pelikan M1000, an Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra Arco Verde, the TWSBI Diamond 580 AL, the Scribo 2 in Cardinal Red. We have a Visconti Homo Sapiens Bronze Swirl, a Visconti Opera Master River Thames, the Visconti Divina Oversize, and the Visconti Divina Metropolitan in a midi size. So I think let's do a writing sample. So this is the Write Here Scribo 2, and it's a 14 carat medium flex nib. You can just see how wet this pen is, and the ink in this pen is Akkerman, and it's a Dutch Masters, and it's Scharlaken Van Jan Steen. Or is it Steenrud? Maybe Steenrud. It's the Scharlaken ink. And in terms of line variation, it is a medium nib. It is very, very wet. And you'll see here. Now, in terms of, I can get more pressure out and more line variation. You can see here, look at that line variation. Now, you have to be very careful when pushing 14 karat gold nibs, because they can be quite soft, so you have to be very, very careful. But in terms of ink wetness, let's have a look here. You see that's still quite wet. It's quite a super fire hose of a nib here that we have on this one. So for me, this is a very, very wet nib. And then, as I showed you here, the flexing of the nib, you have to be very careful. I have never swung a nib, but there you can see a difference here in the line variation that you can get out of this nib. So for me, this is a lovely, lovely pen. I'm glad that I was able to add it to my collection along with the Noble Green version. This is the Cardinal Red version. For me, I really do like bouncy nibs. I don't flex my nibs that much. I will flex them a little bit now and then, but not to the extent that I've done here when writing normally. But I do love these nibs. These are effectively the same Omas Flexibile nibs that you used to get on some of the Omas pens. Very wet writers, very bouncy, very flexible. It's not a modern flex nib, it's not a vintage flex nib, but it actually does pretty well. So I really do like these pens. So that's it. That's the review of the Scribo 2, the Cardinal Red version. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.